To look at some angles. We are doing relationship between two angles, the sum of two angles. Now look at this angle. I've made this angle with these 6. What kind of angle do we have here?
Acute angle.
Acute angle. What about here? What kind of angle do we have here?
Acute angle.
Acute angle. How many vertices, looking at the two angles, do we have? 1, 2. So how many vertices? 2. Now, looking at the two angles again, let's count the number of sides together. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many sides?
4 sides.
4 sides. Okay. Now, I want to put these two angles together and see what happens. So watch what I do. I'm putting the angles together. Okay. Now you see, we don't need these 2 sticks anymore. So I'll just remove this one on top. And I'll glue this stick. So they go together. Now look at what we have here. We put the angles together. How many vertices do we have now?
1.
Just 1. They have a common vertex now. And then how many sides do we have? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 sides. Look at the angle. This is one angle, this is another angle. So you see the angles are side by side. We call these adjacent angles.
Adjacent angles.
Yes, these are adjacent angles. Now I have another set of angles here. What kind of angle do we have here?
Obtuse angle.
Obtuse angle. What kind of angle do we have here?
Acute angle.
Acute angle. We have an acute angle here. We have an obtuse angle here.
Yes.
And look at the vertices.
1,
2. We have 2 vertices. Look at the sides. 1,
2, 3, 4.
And look at the angles. The obtuse angle, acute angle.
Yes.
So I want to bring these 2 angles again together and let's see what happens. I'll put them together. Trying to put them together. And see, I put them together. Now again, I don't need these two lines anymore, these 2 sticks. So I'll just remove 1 stick. Now again, look at the angle. You can see the angle we had before. and the angle here. Now these two angles are also side by side.
Yes.
But then look at the line we have here. Now we have a straight line here.
Yes.
So we call this a linear pair.
A linear pair.
Yes. So these are adjacent angles.
Adjacent angles.
Because you can see the angles, they are side by side. They are adjacent angles. This angle and this angle, they are adjacent angles. And here we have this obtuse angle and acute angle. So they are also adjacent angles. But look at the line here. The line is now straight. So we call this a linear pair.
A linear pair.
Yes. Show me the adjacent angles.
Adjacent angles.
Show me a linear pair.
Linear pairs.
What is this?
Linear pairs.
A linear pair. This is a linear pair, and these are
Adjacent angles.
adjacent angles. I'll show you how we write that. Can I read this?
Adjacent angles.
Read this.
Linear pair.
So I want you to draw adjacent angles, linear pairs. You draw them separately, and then you put them together and draw what you get at the sum. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I have more angles here that we have created with our geometry sticks. We are still considering the sum of two angles. Okay, so look at this angle. What kind of angle do we have here?
Acute angle.
An acute angle. And look at this angle. What kind of angle?
Acute angle.
Acute angle. This is a side, this is a side, right? And this is a vertex. This is another side, and the vertex. So two of them together, how many, like this, how many vertices do we have?
One.
Two vertices.
Two vertices.
Yes. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 sides. Okay. Now I want to bring them together. That's why it's a sum of two angles. So I want to bring them together and see what kind of angle we will have when the two angles come together. So get this acute angle. The acute angle, I want to add it to this acute angle. Now I've added the two angles. Now they have a common vertex. And how many sides do we have? 1, 2, 3. 3 sides. Look at this angle and this angle. They are adjacent angles. So I'll remove this middle side. We don't need two of them. I'll just remove one of them now. And look at the angle we have. I want to use my measuring angle to see what kind of angle we have here when we add the two angles together. So let's use a measuring angle. What kind of angle do we have here? We have a right angle. So when these two angles come together, we are seeing that they are forming a right angle. We call these two adjacent, they are adjacent angles, but then both of them together form a right angle. So we call this a complementary pair.
A complementary pair.
Yes, it's a complementary pair. Okay, let's look at this one. What kind of angle is this?
Obtuse angle.
And what kind of angle is this?
Acute angle.
Okay. And you see, they have two vertices. When we bring them together, you know they will have a common vertex.
Yes.
So let's put them together and see. I'll put them together. I'll remove this one. We don't need this. I'll put this back. Now let's see again what kind of angle we have here. Look at this angle, acute angle, and then the obtuse angle. We put them together. We are having adjacent angles.
Yes.
Again, because they are side by side. But then look at the line here, forms a straight line.
Yeah, a straight line.
Yes. So these two angles together, because on a straight line, this is 180 degrees. And we call this kind of angle, this kind of adjacent angles that come together to make 180 degrees a supplementary pair.
A supplementary pair.
Yes, a supplementary pair. So let's look at this other one. I have two other angles there. What kind of angle do we have here? Acute angle.
Yes.
What kind of angle do we have here?
Acute angle.
Acute angle. So I'll bring them together again. So I'll put them together now, and let's see what kind of angle we are having here. Look at this angle together. Let's use our measuring angle to see what kind of angles we have here. Look at the angles here. The angle here, the angle here, and the angle here. What kind of angle do we have here?
90
degrees. What kind of angle do we have here?
Right angle.
Another right angle. And here?
A right angle.
Another right angle. And here?
A right angle.
Right angle. We call these angles vertically opposite angles.
Vertically opposite angles.
Yes. They are vertically opposite. So show me vertically opposite angles.
Vertically opposite angles.
Show me supplementary angles.
Supplementary angles.
Show me complementary angles.
Complementary angles.
What is this?
Vertically opposite angles.
What is this?
Supplementary angles.
And what is the
complementary angles?
Okay. I want you to get these slips, read them, and put them where they belong.
Supplementary angles.
Where should I put this?
Here. Complementary angles.
Where should I put this?
Here. Vertically opposite angles.
Where should I put this?
Here.
So I want you to use your paper and draw vertically opposite angles, supplementary angles, complementary angles, and all the other angles, adjacent angles that we have done. Okay?
Yes.